We are hearing SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM. What became manifested from Brahma. Yesterday we heard. Thereafter, the art of literary expression, Ushnik, was generated from the hairs on the body of the Almighty Prajapati, Brahma. The principal Vedic hymn, Gayatri, was generated from the skin. Tri Shtup from the flesh, Anushtup from the veins, and Jagati from the bones of the Lord of the living entities. Majjaya Panktir Utpanna Brihati Pranato Bhavat. The art of writing verse, Pankti, became manifested from the bone marrow, and that of Brihati, another type of verse, was generated from the life breath of the Lord of the living entities. Here means Brahma as the Lord of living entities. Sparshas tasya bhavat jiva svaro deha udahrita ushmanam indriyani ahur antahsta balam atmanah svarah sapta viharena bhavanti sma prajapate. Brahma's soul was manifested as the touch alphabets, his body as the vowels, his senses as the sibilant alphabets, his strength as the intermediate alphabets, and his sensual activities as the 7 notes of music. Here Sai Maharaj is commenting, in Sanskrit there are 13 vowels and 35 consonants. Then they are mentioned which one are sparshas, then which are antahstas, ushmas, talavya, murdanya, and dantya. The musical notes are sa, ri, ga, ma, pa, dha, and ni. All these sound vibrations are originally called Shabda Brahma, or spiritual sound. It is said, therefore, that Brahma was created in the Mahakalpa as the incarnation of spiritual sound. The Vedas are spiritual sound, and therefore there is no need of material interpretation for the sound vibration of the Vedic literature. The Vedas should be vibrated as they are, although they are symbolically represented with letters which are known to us materially. In the ultimate issue, there is nothing material because everything has its origin in the spiritual world. The material manifestation is therefore called illusion in the proper sense of the term. For those who realize souls, there is nothing but spirit. One part of spirit is also matter, but not independent, as perverted reflection or as some kind of extension. So we should receive Vedic sound as it is and let it reveal its meaning. That meaning is beyond our mental and intellectual capacity. It is only through revelation that you can understand. That is why it is stated there in Upanishad, Yasya deve parabhaktir jata deve tata guru taseite katitahyarta prakashante mahatmana. One who has devotion to Supreme Lord, same to Supreme Lord and same to Guru, bona fide Guru, who is absolute counterpart of Supreme Lord. To such a Mahatma, great soul, can the meaning of Vedic literature be revealed. It is revealed to him. So only with devotion one can understand. Shabda Brahmatmanastasya Vyakta Vyaktatmanah Parak. Brahma Vabhati Vitato Nana Shakti Upabrim Hitaha. Brahma is the personal representation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead as the source of transcendental sound, and is therefore above the conception of manifested and unmanifested. Brahma is the complete form of the Absolute Truth and is invested with multifarious energies. Here in commentary, the post of Brahma is the highest responsible post within the universe, and it is offered to the most perfect personality of the universe. Sometimes the Supreme Personality of Godhead has to become Brahma when there is no suitable living entity to occupy the post. In the material world, Brahma is the complete representation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and transcendental sound, pranava, comes from him. It is not that he created, but it is manifested through him. That is all eternal, but first it becomes manifested through Brahma. He is therefore invested with multifarious energies, from which all the demigods like Indra, Chandra and Varuna are manifested. His transcendental value is not to be minimized, even though he exhibited a tendency to enjoy his own daughter. That was like a lila. There is a purpose for exhibition of such a tendency by Brahma, and he is not to be condemned like an ordinary living entity. That is why those Vasus who were criticizing Brahma for this, not understanding the purpose, they had to suffer the consequences of that offense. Also there in Gita, apichet suduracharo bhajate mam ananya bhak sadureva samantav samyak vyavasati hisa kipram bhavati dharmatma shashva chantim nigachati kaunteya pratijanihi namibhakta pranashati. Krishna says in Gita, and there are different interpretations possible. One is the one who is in devotional line, maybe he, due to pressure of some bad habits, he may do something wrong. You should not criticize him, because he's properly situated. He will quickly purify himself and he will repent for this bad deed. Like that is one. Another is, once Yamaraj and other demigods, they were discussing this verse in heavenly planets, but they could not, they played the pastime of not understanding one point. Narad also was there, and Bhaktivinoda Thakur was chanting Harinam, and his consciousness, in his consciousness he was in the sky. So they saw, oh, pure devotee, he will know what is the meaning. Then they called Bhaktivinoda Thakur and he came there, and they said, here it is said, Ananya Bhak, one who is one-pointedly devoted to Krishna, and then it says Duracharo, he is doing some wrong activities. How is this possible? And then again, it is mentioned further that again that he will become righteous very quickly. So how this is possible? Then Bhaktivinoda Thakur explained that if some devotee will do something wrong according to our vision, if one can see that this is not wrong, but sadhureva samantava, he will see he is a sadhu, it is not wrong, then this person who can appreciate this pure devotion in that person, he will be purified quickly. And Krishna says to Arjuna, you go everywhere and you declare the faultless nature of devotees. By this you can purify yourself very easily. Vaishnava Gunogan Jivertran. One who can sing the glories of Vaishnavas, that Jiva will be rescued from Maya. Example is here Brahma, one of the example. If one can see that there was some higher purpose behind this, and he will not criticize, then he will be purified by this. And another example are the gopis, when Krishna plays the flute and the transcendental sound, then they are attracted. Then they give up their husbands and houses and all this. In the dead of night, they go to meet Krishna. So according to scripture and social, and that is like a sin. It is wrong activity. But from spiritual point of view, Krishna is the master of all. So if they are engaged in his service, there is no fault. Outwardly, it may seem like they are going against scripture, against society, and like this. But they are doing highest dharma, highest duty. So one devotee or one person who can appreciate this devotion, supreme devotion to Krishna, in spite of outwardly seemingly something wrong, then he will be purified by glorifying, by singing the glories of such devotees. Means he has that capacity to appreciate that. Only devotee can appreciate devotion, no one else. If someone is moralist or something, then he cannot appreciate this. He will think it's an immoral act. But one who is a devotee, he will appreciate. So such a person, by singing the glories of devotee, he can be purified. This is one meaning of that verse of Gita. There are another. So here, he is not to be condemned like an ordinary living entity. Tato param upadaya sasargaya manodade. Thereafter, Brahma accepted another body in which sex life was not forbidden, and thus he engaged himself in the matter of further creation. Here in commentary it is stated, in his former body, which was transcendental, affection for sex life was forbidden, and Brahma therefore had to accept another body to allow himself to be connected with sex for procreation. He thus engaged himself in the matter of creation, his former body transformed into fog as previously described. This is not so easy to understand. How he is doing everything for the satisfaction of Krishna. That has to be revealed. Rishinam bhuri viryanam api sargam avistritam gyatva tat dhridaye bhuyash chintayam asa kaurava. Like our Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur also. His Radharan is maidservant, but was ordered to come to this world to preach. And he played the pastime of being a householder, family man, with 13 children. And he was having high job in government that time, Indian. That British regime was there. And at the same time, he wrote more than 100 books. Perfect thought, the transcendental writings. How this is possible? It is not possible for an ordinary human being. He is a personal associate of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, came here in this world doing the pastime of family man to show by example how one should live for the service of Krishna while staying in this world. And also he could freely mix with these conditioned souls to know what they are thinking, what they are doing, so that he can appropriately give advice. So that is lila. We should not think in some wrong way. Our Gurudev played this pastime once in Assam. After joining the mat, means monastery, as a brahmachari, means leaving house, joining, then Parangurudev took him to different places in Assam with him. And Gurudev's service was to write what Parangurudev will dictate, letters for disciples. And Gurudev said that was very good for me. I could know many questions of the aspirants and also Gurudev's answers to those, how to solve all the problems. So once they were in one place in Assam, near Sarbog, and they were alone in the room, then Gurudev was writing one letter and it was half finished. Suddenly Parangurudev said, stop, you bring that book of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Kalyan Kalpatai. It is one song, means song book, many songs giving proper knowledge about pure devotion. Is like this. Then he ordered him, now you read here in front of me. Then Gurudev was reading and he said, after some time, I got such ecstatical symptoms, such bliss was coming from within that I could not speak anything further. And tears rolled from my eyes and body was shivering and I could not do anything. So much bliss was coming. Then when Parangurudev saw, he said, okay, enough, now you stop. Then Gurudev understood by this incident why Parangurudev ordered him to do so. At first he did not understand. Then he understood that because I had some doubts, we all left house, we are now ascetics, we are brahmacharis or sannyasis, we are not family men. Then why Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, family man, how he can be our guru in our line? So in order to remove those doubts, Parangurudev made me understand that this writings of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur is not ordinary writing of some worldly attached family man. No. He's a personal associate of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, appearing in this world, doing pastime like that for this purpose, to show by example and to mix freely with them. So all the writings of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, they are coming from transcendental platform. They will give you devotion. Our Gurudev said, even if you don't understand the meaning of songs or other writings of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, prose like Jaiva Dharma and others, if you hear, that will give you devotion, surely. Because it is transcendental sound, it will touch your Atma. It will awaken your Atma. So here also, Brahma did this for the service of Krishna. O son of the Kuru, when Brahma saw that in spite of the presence of sages of great potency, there was no sufficient increase in population, he seriously began to consider how the population could be increased. Aho adbhutam etan me vyapritasyapi nityada. Nahi edhante prajanunam devam atra vighatakam. Brahma thought to himself, alas, it is wonderful that in spite of my being scattered all over, there is still insufficient population throughout the universe. There is no other cause for this misfortune but destiny. Like we see, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur is Kamal Manjari, appearing from Golok Vrindavan, maid servant of Radharani, and he's playing the pastime of householder, 13 children. And another, Nayan Muni Manjari, Maidservant of Radharani, also appeared in this world for preaching on the order of Radharani, that is Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. He was lifelong brahmachari, as we heard the day before yesterday, lifelong brahmachari, no children. Then how we can think who is a devotee and who is not? No, both are devotees. Both are doing what they have to do. Gorkishore Das Babaji Maharaj, he was Babaji, as ascetic, Paramahansa order, and he came to hear from Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur Bhagavatam every day in Swananda Sukada Punya, a family man. How this is possible? Because they can know, they can see who is Bhaktivinoda Thakur. And Gorkishore Das Babaji Maharaj had only one disciple, that is Prabhupada, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, because Prabhupada was really surrendered. Gorkishore Das Babaji only one disciple. At Prabhupada, so many. So we may think Gorkishore Das Babaji is not a great devotee. That is not correct thinking. All are doing service as per desire of Krishna. What they have to do. That you have to see, not external vision. Then you will misunderstand. So here Brahma was engaged by Supreme Lord for this creation of population, because this is this Shrishti Lila, and those jivas from previous cycle, they have certain karma, and that was suspended for the time being, and now when new creation is coming, Brahma again manifests all Vedas and everything, and also population according to their karma. So that is his service. But it is not that for everyone such service must be there. Like in Gaur Lila, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told to Raghunath Bhatta Goswami in Puri. He said, okay, now you are here with me in Puri, you serve nicely, it is very good. Now you go back to your home, your parents are devotees, so you serve them until they leave this world. You should stay with them and serve them, but don't get married. After they will leave this world, then you go to Vrindavan and join Rupa Sanatana and others. But Srinivasacharya, he was ordered by Mahaprabhu to marry one girl, and then after some time again another second wife. That is also order of Mahaprabhu. Then we may be confused. Then what is now service? The point is in the vision, how they are doing and what they are supposed to do. The target is same. They are doing for the service of Krishna. And there were this, Chaitanya Das and his wife Lakshmi Priya. They are pure devotees of Mahaprabhu. If they were with him in Navadip. Then they had no children, no desire. All the time worshipping Krishna. But one day, suddenly Chaitanya Das got desire to have a child. And he was surprised. Why is this? Then he told to his wife, and she said, okay, you have to ask Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Then they went to Puri, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu already in advance, when he saw them coming, they did not yet tell anything. Mahaprabhu already knew. He said, Jagannath will fulfill your desire. Then all were thinking, what desire? Then Mahaprabhu revealed, actually he wants a son, and he will get a son. He will be like a jewel. He will be not different from me. His name will be Srinivas. I will spread all the scriptures of the Goswamis through him. He will be not different from me. Then all devotees, they understood, So in this case, it was this service necessary. Then Srinivasacharya appeared and he was studying with Jiva Goswami, and then he was sent to preach. And Mahaprabhu ordered him in dream 2 times to get married. So we should not be confused. The point is, one has to act as per desire of Krishna for his satisfaction with proper vision, and we cannot judge by external appearance. We may misunderstand. So here Brahma was thinking it is insufficient population. Why is this? Evam yukta kritastasya devam chavekshatastada kasya rupam abhut dvedha yat kayam abhichakshate. While he was thus absorbed in contemplation and was observing the supernatural power, 2 other forms were generated from his body. They are still celebrated as the body of Brahma. Here it is written in commentary, 2 bodies came out from the body of Brahma. One had a mustache and the other had swollen breasts. No one can explain the source of their manifestation, and therefore until today they are known as the Kayam, or the body of Brahma, with no indication of their relationship as his son or daughter, or as his body. Tabhyam rupa vibhagabhyam mitunam samapadyata. The 2 newly separated bodies united together in a sexual relationship. Now, next verse I was just about to mention, but I'm thinking next verse it is stated. Yastu tatra puman sobhun manuh swayam bhuvah swarat stri yashich chatarupakya mahishi asya mahatmana. Out of them, the one who had the male form became known as the Manu named Swayambhuva. Swayambhuva Manu. And the woman became known as Shatarupa, the queen of the great soul, Manu. Yes, further coming. Tada mituna dharmena praja hyedam babhuvire. Thereafter, by sex indulgence, they gradually increase generations of population one after another. Sachapi Shatarupayam Panchapatyani Ajijanat Priyavrato Tanapado Tisrah Kanyascha Bharata Akutir Devahutischa Prasutir Iti Satama. O son of Bharata, in due course of time, he, means Swayambhuva Manu, begot in Shatarupa 5 children, 2 sons, Priyavrata and Uttanpat, and 3 daughters, Akuti, Devahuti, and Prasuti. You know, Uttanpat is father of Dhruva. He had 2 wives, Suruchi and Suniti. From Suniti came Dhruva, from Suruchi came Uttam. That we'll hear in 4th canto about Dhruva. And these daughters also. Now it is stated, Akutim Ruchaya Pradat Kardamaya Tumadhyamam Dakshayadat Prasutim Cha Yata Apuritam Jagat. The father, Manu, handed over his first daughter, Akuti, to the sage Ruchi. The middle daughter, Devahuti, to the sage Kardam. And the youngest, Prasuti, to Daksha. From them, all the world filled with population. We will hear about Devahuti and Kardam Rishi. In this third canto, very important topic. Our Gurudev used to explain everywhere in Western countries. Devahuti, mother, wanted a child. After, there is a long story. Then Kardam said, okay, but if you will have child, then I will go. Now you decide. Then she was silent and did not immediately reply. Then after some days again, I want a child. Then Kardam said, okay. Then he gave her a child, and that child was Supreme Lord, Kapil Bhagavan. And from him, Mother Devahuti learned about devotion to Supreme Lord. There it is written that one has to associate with the sadhu. By associating with sadhu, one will get realization of Supreme Lord. That we will hear soon now in third canto. This is the end of this chapter. Chapter 13, the appearance of Lord Varaha. Shri Shuka Uvach. Nishamya Vacham Vadato Muneh Punyatamam Nripa Bhuyah Papracha Kauravyo Vasudeva Katha Dritaha. Shri Shukadev Goswami said, O king, after hearing all these most virtuous topics from the sage Maitreya, Vidur inquired further on the topics of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, which he adored to hear. Vidur Uvach. Savai Swayambhuvah Samrat. Priyah Putrah Swayambhuva. Pratilabhya Priyam Patnim Kim Chakara Tato Mune. Vidur said, O great sage, what did Swayambhuva, the dear son of Brahma, do after obtaining his very loving wife? Charitam Tasya Rajarsher Adi Rajasya Satama Bruhi Me Shraddha Dhanaya Vishwakse Nashrayo Hyaso. O best of the virtues, the original king of kings, that is Manu, was a great devotee of the personality of Godhead Hari, and thus it is worth hearing of his sublime character and activities. Please describe them. I am very eager to hear. We should hear about the pastimes of Supreme Lord and also the pastimes of his devotees. For us to hear the pastimes of his devotees is more beneficial in this stage, because sometimes we may not properly understand the pastime of Supreme Lord as enjoyer. We may want to imitate or become envious or something. But if we hear the activities and sublime character of devotees, then we will be inspired to worship Krishna. That is why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu repeatedly used to hear the character of Dhruva Maharaj and Prahlad Maharaj. Then one will become inspired how they worshipped, what they attained, how they attained. That will be beneficial. Then we can understand about the pastimes of Supreme Lord. Shrutasya pungsham suchira shramasya nanu anjasa suribir iritortah tat gunanu shravanam mukunda padaravindam hridayeshu yesham. Persons who hear from a spiritual master with great labor and for a long time must hear from the mouths of pure devotees about the character and activities of pure devotees. Pure devotees always think within their hearts of the lotus feet of the personality of Godhead, who awards his devotees liberation. Our Gurudev repeatedly used to say, the character of Dhruva and Prahlad and Ambarish Maharaj and also Ajamil and Bharat Maharaj and all the personal associates of Mahaprabhu. Yes, here in commentary, Sai Maharaj is giving this point. Transcendental students are those who undergo great penance in being trained by hearing the Vedas from the bona fide spiritual master. That is actual penance, not that you will cut your hand or go under sun in hot season and like this. That is physical some penance. Actual penance is you have to give up your false ego. That is not so easy to give up. By hearing about Supreme Lord and his devotees, that is possible to remove. That is why you will find the yogis, jnanis, they do some physical austerities and mental, but they are not, they cannot give up their false ego. They are still proud and they become angry like this. So those austerities are actually not difficult. It is stated in Shastra. Although outwardly they seem to be more difficult than what devotees they are doing outwardly. There are so many disciplines, so many these things, but they are more easy because what devotees they are doing, they are giving up their false ego. That is not easy. Outwardly it seems very easy, only hearing and chanting, little worshipping, taking prasad, but to actually give up your false ego is not so easy. Not only must they hear about the activities of the Lord, but they must also hear about the transcendental qualities of the devotees who are constantly thinking of the lotus feet of the Lord within their hearts. A pure devotee of the Lord cannot be separated from the lotus feet of the Lord for even a moment. Undoubtedly, the Lord is always within the hearts of all living creatures, but they hardly know about it because they are deluded by the illusory material energy. The devotees, however, realize the presence of the Lord, and therefore they can always see the lotus feet of the Lord within their hearts. Such pure devotees of the Lord are as glorious as the Lord. They are, in fact, recommended by the Lord as more worshipable than He Himself. Worship of the devotee is more potent than worship of the Lord. You will find in 11th canto, Krishna is telling to Uddhava, Mad Bhakta Puja Bhyadiko. Worship of my devotees is superior than worship of me. And to Ambarish, means to Durvasa Rishi, he said in relation to Ambarish Maharaj, Aham Bhakta Paradino. I am subordinate to my devotee. I am dependent to my devotee. The point is, and also one time, Parvati, wife of Shiva, she is always serving Shiva, but she saw that others, some are worshipping Brahma, some are worshipping Vishnu, some are worshipping Shiva, some are worshipping Indra, like this different they're worshipping. So one day she asked Shiva, my dear husband, which worship is supreme? And our Gurudev told, Shiva's character is like that. He will speak the truth. Whether anyone likes it or not, he will speak the truth. So immediately Shiva answered that verse, I forgot. Very nice verse. Aradhanam Vishnu Aradhanam Param. Supreme worship is the worship of Vishnu. Immediately he answered. Then Parvati was thinking, oh, then I'm not worshipping Supreme, I'm worshipping Shiva. Then again she asked, there is nothing superior than that? Then Shiva again replied, yes, there is. Tadyanam, this Marchanam, I forgot the verse. To worship those who belong to Krishna means pure devotees. That is superior to worship of him also. Then Parvati was happy. Okay, I'm worshipping Shiva. He is a devotee of Vishnu because now he told Vishnu is supreme object of worship. So he's a Vishnu Bhakta. So I'm worshipping him. He's a Vishnu Bhakta. So that is supreme worship. The point is that Krishna loves his devotees more than he loves himself. If you serve his devotees, he will be more happy. Like if you serve a child of a mother, mother will be more happy than if you serve her, because of her affection for the child. Like that, Krishna is having such affection for his devotees. If you serve them, Krishna will be pleased. So here, it is therefore the duty of the transcendental students to hear of pure devotees, as explained by similar devotees of the Lord, because one cannot explain about the Lord or his devotee unless one happens to be a pure devotee himself. Devotee can understand the qualities of a devotee by his grace. You will find in South India those who are in Tamoguna worshippers. So for them, Vyasadeva gave that certain Tamasic Puranas where he stated that Shiva is Supreme Personality of Godhead. They have to worship him. That is for gradual procedure because Shiva is controlling the mode of ignorance. So all those people, they will have natural inclination for gradual advancement. So this is one conception of Shiva, but another is that he is a Vaishnava. So in order to prevent them from entering into that conception, Ramanujacharya told that you worship Narayan, Supreme Lord. Don't worship Shiva. Even if you are attacked by a tiger in forest, you should better to be devoured by tiger than to enter in temple of Shiva to rescue yourself. Such instruction he gave, to keep them one-pointed devotion to Narayan, in order to not enter into that conception. Then, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to South India, on the pretext of pilgrimage, he rescued all the fallen souls by giving them Krishna Prema. He also in South India, he entered into Shiva temple. Then those who were there worshipping, they were surprised. You are a Vaishnava, you are wearing this tilak, not this tilak. You are Vaishnava. Why you are entering Shiva temple? And he was ecstatically dancing in front of Shiva. Then Mahaprabhu said, why not? They said, because they are always arguing. The Vishnu is supreme, and we are telling Shiva is supreme. So always there is this argument. Then Mahaprabhu said, no, it is very easy to understand. In Shastra, you will find that from the lotus feet of Vishnu, Ganga Devi is emanating, Ganga Devi. And Shiva is carrying Ganga Devi on his head. So you can understand who is supreme. But at the same time, one who is always carrying the water that has washed the lotus feet of Supreme Lord on his head with adoration, how we can have this respect for him? He's a pure devotee of Vishnu, non-different from him. So there, in that sense, non-different, so there. So how we can disrespect Shiva? Our object of worship is both Vishnu and Vaishnava, both. So I'm seeing Shiva as a Vaishnava, Vaishnavanam Jatashambha, topmost devotee. So that is why I'm coming here, to bow down to him and pray for his grace as a devotee. Then they understood. But that type of Tamoguna worship, it is okay for those who are on that platform for gradual advancement, but when one will come to this level of Bhagavatam, then he can understand proper position, everything in relation, and then he will worship Vishnu and Vaishnava. So the pastime, so both we have to hear. Shri Shuka Uvach Iti Bruvanam Viduram Vinitam Sahasra Shirshna Charano Padhanam Prahrishta Roma Bhagavat Kathayam Praniyamano Munir Abhya Chashta. Shri Shukadev Goswami said, the personality of Godhead, Shri Krishna, was pleased to place his lotus feet on the lap of Vidur, because Vidur was very meek and gentle. The sage Maitreya was very pleased with Vidur's words, and being influenced by his spirit, he attempted to speak. This is a sign of blessing, to place his lotus feet on the lap of Vidur. You will find in the song of Gaur Arati, Shiva Shuka Narada, Preme Gada Gada, Bhakati Vinoda, Dekhe Gaura Rasampada. Bhaktivinoda Thakur is seeing the opulence of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu during his Arati. All that song, you know the meaning. This is the last line. Shiva is also singing the glories of Gauranga Mahaprabhu in Prem, love of Gauranga, and his voice becomes choked. He's a pure devotee. How we can disrespect him? But at the same time, he's not supreme. He's the pure devotee. And in the second line, Brahma Adi Deva Gone. Arati Korena Brahma Adi Deva Gone. Brahma Adi means Brahma, Shiva, and other demigods. They are doing Arati of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Maitreya Uvach Yada Svabharyaya Sardham Jatah Swayambhuva Manu Pranjalih Pranataschedam Veda Garbham Abhashata. Also that song which we are singing, Tulsi Maharani, about the glories of Tulsi Devi, Shiva Shuka Narada Aur Brahmadiko Dhurata Pirata Mahamuni Gyani. Shiva, Shukadev, Narad, Brahma, Aur Brahmadiko. Brahma Adi means headed by Brahma, all other demigods. Dhurata Pirata Mahamuni Gyani. And all great sages, they are also circumambulating Tulsi Devi, serving Tulsi Devi. Parikrama, you have to go around. That is a kind of service, keeping her or keeping Supreme Lord or devotee in the center. You are going around. That is one kind of service, expression of service. So they are also circumambulating Tulsi. In Golok Vrindavan, Tulsi is Brindadevi, Gopi. She is arranging for the pastimes of Radha Krishna, organizing all seva, everything. By the grace of Radharani, so they are all worshipping her. The sage Maitreya said to Vidur, after his appearance, Manu, the father of mankind, along with his wife, thus addressed the reservoir of Vedic wisdom, Brahma, with obeisances and folded hands. So what he said to Brahma after submitting to him, we will hear tomorrow.